Explosions rocked the station's core. Commander Mara Vance gripped the damaged control panel, her fingers flying across the flickering hollow controls. She sealed the medbay bulkhead with a decisive tap. Red lights confirmed the lock. "Power grid's bleeding," Chief Warrant Officer Rena Akoy shouted from the engineering alcove. Sparks flew as she yanked a conduit free. "Hull breach venting atmo, life support's next." Vance nodded once. "Redirect auxiliary from weapons bays. Prioritize medbay and evac corridors. Get it done." Akoy welded a bypass cable in place. Her suit's torches hissed. Power surged back online. Lights stabilized. Medbay pressure held. Vance turned to her intel station. Lieutenant Kenji Sato hunched over his screens, eyes darting across signal webs. Coalition signatures pulsed red, dozens of ships closing fast. "Sato," Vance said, "tag every incoming transmission. Voice, data, command pings. Map their shooter's chain of command. Names, ranks, positions. Now." Sato's fingers blurred. "I, Commander, primary shooter is Coalition Heavy Cruiser Wrathspire. Admiral Surith calls flag. He's patched through 3 relays, subordinate captains confirming fire orders." Vance's jaw tightened, but her voice stayed level. "Log it all, timestamps, frequencies, cross-reference with neutral envoy logs." The bridge shook again. Another volley grazed the station's outer ring. Screams echoed from civilian decks. Vance ignored them. She activated the fleet-wide broadcast array. "This is Commander Mara Vance, UN Fleet, Habitat Station Epsilon 7. Her words cut through static, clear and unyielding. "You have struck civilian evac zones. I declare a ceasefire corridor. Vector 047, Mark 29er. All human shuttles will transit there. Fire into it and you own every shot. Logged, traced, accountable." Silence followed. Then laughter crackled over open channels, alien tones, guttural. Admiral Surith Call's voice boomed. "Human petulance, your station falls. Resistance feeds the fire." Vance muted him. "Akoy, shuttle bays green." "Locked and loaded," Akoy replied. She slapped a panel. "Rescue birds fueled, cover drones deploying." "Sato, shuttle manifests uploaded." "Every soul accounted for," Sato said. 200 civilians med teams. Drones will spoof signatures, make them look like debris." Vance launched the order. 10 shuttles detached from the station's underbelly. They slipped into the corridor under drone screens, ghost echoes masking their thrust. Coalition ships loomed on the main viewer. Wrathspire led, its plasma lances charging. Smaller frigates fanned out, predator formations. Envoy Talon Reef's neutral channel pinged. The alien liaison's scaled face appeared, wide eyes flickering from his station observatory. "Commander Vance, this defies protocol. They will not honor your corridor." "They don't have to," Vance said. "Watch." A frigate twitched. Its point defense guns spat fire. Beams sliced the corridor. One shuttle's drone swarm detonated in flares. The real shuttle darted through unscathed. Sato's console chimed. "Tagged it. Frigate Captain Zorath Vex. Direct order from Call. Recording locked." Another volley. Wrathspire itself fired, a broadside rake. Shrapnel bloomed. Shuttle 3 took a glancing hit, spun, but thrived on emergency thrust. Akoy patched remote repairs from the bridge. "Damage minimal," Akoy reported. "They're away." Vance's eyes narrowed at the viewer. 8 shuttles docked with the fleet carrier Horizon safe. 2 lagged, nursing wounds. Call's channel reopened. "Flee insects, your logs mean nothing. We shatter worlds." Vance didn't respond. She keyed internal comms. "All hands, damage assessment compiling. Sato, prioritize Call's command net. Isolate propagators." Sato nodded, weaving data threads. "Got a pattern. Call's aggressive, pushes terror strikes. Subordinates hesitate on logs. 3 captains querying legality." Akoy wiped sweat from her brow. "Power stable, Commander, but next hit we lose spin gravity." Vance stood. She paced to the tactical holomap. Coalition icons swarmed. Human pickets held the flank, disciplined volleys picking off stragglers. Talon Reef's feed persisted. The envoy leaned forward. "You, document, amid invasion, procedure," Vance said. "Every shot fired in that corridor traces to a war crimes docket, Galactic Court. Their coalition charter binds them." Reef's frills quivered. "They ignore courts. Terror breaks wills. Not ours." Vance watched Sato's map bloom. Red lines connected Wrathspire to 5 key ships. Command nodes glowed. A shuttle pinged distress. Final evac, medbay overflow. It limped into the corridor. Wrathspire's lances lit again. Direct fire. The shuttle exploded in silent fire. Bridge crew tensed. No shouts, no rage. Log confirmed, Sato said flatly. Call's bridge crew authenticated the order, visuals captured. Vance exhaled. Transmit to all neutrals, copy to Coalition High Command, tag Call for accountability. Akoi's tools clattered as she prepped defenses. They're looping for another pass. Vance activated Fleet Command. Horizon, form up targeted interdiction. We collapse their van without escalation. Captains acknowledged. Human ships shifted, precise, no waste. Call's roar filled the bridge. You dare counter, numbers crush you. Vance opened the channel. Admiral, your frigate Zorath Vex fired first into the corridor. Captain Lyra Voss second. We have transcripts. Stand down or your chain fractures. Static. Then subordinate chatter leaked, aliens questioning, frills of doubt. Reef's voice cut in. Commander, their formation wavers. Your restraint unnerves them. Vance ignored the praise. She tracked the next wave. Sato highlighted a vulnerability, Rathspire's sensor blind spot exploited by Akoi's earlier drone feints. Launch precision strikes, Vance ordered. Disable engines only, board and arrest if they resist. Missiles streaked. Human tacticals pierced shields, surgical, Rathspire's drives flared out, it drifted. Call bellowed orders. 2 frigates broke formation, retreating. Sato smiled faintly. Chain cracking. 3 captains signaling parley. Vance leaned in. Accept, under neutral oversight, Envoy Reef your witness. Reef's eyes widened. Yes, docking protocols open. Shuttles crossed to the crippled Rathspire. Marines boarded, zip-cuffing bridge crew. Call dragged out snarling. Vance watched the feed, no victory cheers, just log sealing. Akoi patched the final power surge. Station holding, ma'am. Sato compiled the docket. Full map ready. Their war machine's logistics hub exposed. Next target. Vance nodded. The Coalition's aggression met procedure. Justice outlasted plasma, but sensors pinged. Reinforcements warped in Coalition heavies twice the mass. Call's final transmission hissed from custody. This ends your illusion. Vance's console lit with new signatures. Sato traced them. Akoi braced. The real war machine turned. Sato's console pinged. 3 Coalition dreadnoughts warped in, their mass shadows blotting sensor feeds. He traced their entry vectors, predictable, funneled through the debris field from Rathspire's escorts. Auth codes incoming, Sato murmured. His algorithms chewed captured telemetry from the wreckage. Alien debris spun lazily, shattered hulls leaking plasma ghosts. He isolated the fleet's handshake protocols, clean extraction, no brute force hacks, just pattern matching. Vance's voice cut through comms. Talk to me, Lieutenant. Their heavies outmass us 3-1. Sato keyed his display. Isolating now, Commander. Their authentication backbone, it's in the debris. Every ship pings a relay chain before firing. Akoi's voice crackled from engineering. Patching drone relays, give me ghosts to feed 'em. Sato nodded to empty air. He planted decoy traffic. Ghost signatures bloomed across the field, fake human scouts scattering. Coalition pickets lit up, sensors sweeping wide arcs. Their doctrines unmasked, overlapping bubbles blind to micro-jumps under 50 clicks. Got it, Sato said. They prioritize mass over subtlety. Picket doctrine favors volume scans. We thread the gaps. Reef's neutral station feed flickered on auxiliary. The envoy's frills twitched. Human, your probes mimic our own lost signals. The Coalition will adapt, Sato finished. He ranked the list. Fuel flows from Rathspire's logs pinpointed tenders. Comm relays lagged 2.7 seconds on heavies, command latency baked in. Top target, the logistics hub trailing the dreadnoughts fat with munitions barges. He patched to Vance. Ranked list, ma'am. Strike the hub first. It chokes their obedience. Ships won't move without resupply auth. Vance's image steadied. Calm eyes scanned the feed. Execute decoy phase. Draw them. Sato triggered it. Human formation peeled back, false retreat, vectors plotted to the second. Drones mimicked engine flares, signatures fading into the black. Coalition heavies bit. Engines thrummed. They pursued, pickets fanning ahead. Sato timed it, 47 seconds to commitment. They're locked, he said. Hub exposed, latency spiking, commands bottlenecking. Akoi whooped softly. My drones in position, faint shields up. Missiles launched from human flanks, not broadsides. Precision lances keyed to auth codes Sato fed in. They spoofed as internal diagnostics, shields parted like polite doors. The hub's reactors winked out. Barges vented fuel, auth relays frying. Dreadnoughts stuttered, formation fracturing as captains queried ghosts. Call's voice snarled from custody feed, patched through reef. Cease this, my fleet advances, Reef interjected, frills flat. Admiral, your hub fails authentication. Ships hold fire per protocol. Sato smiled faintly. Humans didn't hunt ships. They hunted the paperwork that made ships obey. Vance ordered, boarding teams to the hub, secure manifests. Akoi, stabilize for tow. Marines jetted across. Zero-G breaches popped seals. Zip cuffs clicked on bridge crews, dozens taken alive. Sato pulled logs mid-op. Full chain mapped. Every tender, every relay. Heavies reversed thrust. Too late. Human interceptors cut pursuit lanes, tractors snaring pickets. One dreadnought powered weapons. Sato's countermeasures jammed its off. Turrets slewed blind. Secondaries down, Akoi reported, patching their own backups against them. Vance's fleet closed the noose, not rage, procedure. Sato compiled the docket, evidence chains for trials, logistics fractures for the next push. Reef's voice rose. Commander Vance, this. Your strikes cripple without kill. Coalition envoys demand parley. Log it, Vance said. Sato next vector? Sato traced reinforcements shadows, more inbound but hubless. Their core world relay, latency will doom them. A new ping hit. Coalition carrier warped in swarm bays spitting fighters. Sato's decoys faltered under massed fire. Adjusting, he said. Fingers danced. New ghosts bloomed. The war machine ground on, but humans turned its gears against it. Sato locked the final code slice. Debris from the hub yielded gold. Master keys to the Coalition's warp lanes. Not just auth, routing protocols hard-coded for their empire's spine. He fed them to tactical. Ghost lanes active, forced their pickets to chase phantoms. Pickets dove. Sensors painted decoys as prime targets. Doctrines rigid, engage mass first. Gaps yawned, human drones slipped through, planting beacons. Vance watched her plot. Beautiful work, Lieutenant. List. Sato handed it over, hollow projected. Target 1, fuel tenders, flows mismatched to Heavy's thirst. Target 2, comm relays, latency chaining commands like dominoes. Target 3, the dreadnought flag, its captain's ping exposed hub dependency. Hub down means they halt in 90 minutes, Sato said. No resupply auth, no fire, Akoi patched in. Engineers ready, we'll hotware their tenders for our use. Coalition chatter spiked. Aliens barked overrides, frills of panic in intercepted bursts. Sato triggered the retreat signal. Human ships wheeled, precise, time to lure. Dreadnoughts lunged, engines blooming blue. Pursuit locked, Sato counted. 42 seconds, 43, mark. Missiles leaped, auth spoofed, they danced past shields. Hub's secondaries erupted, contained blasts per Vance's specs. No debris field, just silence. Dreadnoughts braked hard. Captain signaled parley flares. Reef station lit with docks. They're cracking, Sato said. No triumph, just data. Marines boarded tenders. Crews surrendered, hands high. Sato pulled manifests, war machines' guts exposed. Billions in fuel, keyed to codes now human-held. Call raged in his cell feed. Monsters, you fight with tricks. Reef muted him. Commander, your restraint. It unnerves, they expected fury. Vance ignored it. Sato ranked the relays. He did. Latency maps glowed. Command hubs lagged worst. Aliens' hierarchy turned liability. New warp signatures bloomed. Heavies doubled down. Sato planted fresh decoys. The hunt continued. Akoi's teams swarmed a captured tender. Welders sparked. Fuel rerouted, ma'am. Their birds now fly our pattern. Vance nodded. Press. Sato's console hummed. He isolated the flag dreadnought's ping, Admiral's proxy post-call. Latency 4.2 seconds, fatal. False retreat phase 2, he ordered drones. Fleet peeled again, enemies bit harder. Sato timed it perfect. Strikes landed, relays popped, heavies drifted, auth denied. Borders zipped, cuffs snapped, Reef gaped at feeds. You dismantle them, legally? Accountability, Sato replied. Outlasts plasma. One heavy broke free, weapons hot. Sato jammed its codes, turrets froze, Vance closed in. Surrender or be boarded, it yielded. Sato compiled the full map. Core relay exposed, heart of their machine. Sensors screamed. Massive shadow warped in, coalition battle line dozens strong. Sato traced it. Akoi braced. Vance steadied. The real counterpunch loomed, but humans held the keys. Commander Vance's fingers danced across the tactical holoscreen. Warp signatures bloomed, 42 coalition heavies, fangs bared. Her fleet held position, a lean wedge of 20 cruisers and tenders. Sato, confirm signatures. Her voice cut clean through bridge chatter. Confirmed, ma'am. Admiral's proxy leads. Full battle line, escorts tight. ETA 5 minutes. Lieutenant Sato's eyes flicked over latency maps, fingers tracing ghost pings. Akoi burst onto the bridge, grease-streaked. Boarding teams primed, fuel nodes rerouted, our decoys hold. Vance nodded once. Split the fleet. Alpha wing to node Bravo 7, Beta to Delta 9. Gamma stays with me on the core relay. Non-lethal engine kill rounds only. Boarding teams follow, seize manifests, no kills. Aye, ma'am. Sato keyed the orders. Drones hummed to life. The fleet fractured like shattering glass. Cruisers peeled off in precise vectors, warp drives whining. Vance's Gamma wing tightened formation around the captured core relay, a hulking depot now rigged with human overrides. Coalition battle line accelerated. Plasma lances charged, a wall of fire building. Enemy targeting locks, Sato reported. They lead us hard. Hold fire. Vance watched the hollows. Sato's decoys, ghost signatures mimicking fuel tenders, drew the first salvo. Enemy guns thundered. Decoys vaporized in brilliant flares. Perfect bait, Akoi muttered, welding a final brace on a boarding pod feed. Vance's cruisers loosed their volley. Non-lethal rounds streaked, precision slugs laced with EMP bursters. They punched into enemy engine nacelles. Heavies shuddered. Propulsion flames guttered. Engines down on 12 targets, Sato called. Boarders away. Shuttles zipped from Vance's bays, mag clamps locking onto drifting hulls. Akoi's engineers swarmed first, cutters slicing airlocks, foam seals snapping shut behind them. Coalition chatter exploded over open channels. Harsh dialects snarled threats. Vance muted it. Rig the depots, broadcast surrender instructions, all dialects. Akoi patched in from a border feed. Her team breached a fuel node's core vault. Manifest secured, ma'am. Billions in allotments, codes ours. Uploading now. Vance's screen filled with data streams. Fuel ledgers keyed to coalition admirals. Black market diversions. Civilian raids funded by siphoned reserves. Phase 2, Vance said. Dump to neutral channels, live feed. Sato broadcasted. Manifests flooded Envoy Reef Station relays. Billions watched as the Coalition's war machine guts spilled, fuel meant for fronts diverted to terror strikes on human colonies. Reef's voice crackled in. Commander, this indicts half their command. Accountability, Vance replied. Let them deny it live. Coalition flag dreadnought bucked. Its proxy admiral calls replacement, patched through, face scaled and furious. Humans, cease this perfidy, we deny. Sato froze the feed mid-sentence. Latency exploit, 4.2 seconds. The admiral's words hung, manifests scrolling beneath. Enemy heavies drifted powerless. 1,000 guns across the battle line went quiet, no fuel, no auth codes. Engines cold, turrets inert. Boarders zipped between hulks. Cuffs snapped on bridge crews. Akoi's teams welded overrides into every depot. Speakers blared in coalition tongues. Surrender manifests, power down weapons, justice awaits. One heavy broke formation. Engines flared, stolen fuel burst. Weapons hot, it charged Vance's wing. Sato, jam it. Codes locked. Turrets froze mid-slew. The heavy yawed helpless, Vance closed in. Surrender or be boarded. It yielded, boarders flooded in. Reef gaped from his neutral perch. Feeds showed it all, humans dismantling a war machine without a single planet bombed. No rage, just procedure. Vance ignored him. Sato ranked the next nodes. 3 left, ma'am, outer rim, heavy screening them now. Peel Gamma, send tenders ahead, reroute their fuel mid-jump. Akoi grinned from her feed. My teams love overtime. Fleet elements warped out. Alpha wing hit Bravo 7 first. Non-lethal rounds cracked engines. Boarders seized the node. Manifests dumped live, more diversions exposed, linking to civilian strikes. Coalition proxies raged on open comms. Denials crumbled under data. Neutrals buzzed. Stations across the rim tuned in. Beta wing struck Delta 9. Same drill. Engines killed, manifests grabbed, broadcasts looped, surrender or starve. Vance's Gamma pushed the core relay's flank. Sato's maps glowed, enemy patterns predictable, hierarchies rigid. Proxy admirals ping isolated, Sato said. Latency spike, false retreat bait ready. Vance authorized. Drones mimicked a pullback, heavies bit. They surged forward, fuel tenders exposed, strikes landed, relays popped, more heavies drifted, boarders swarmed. Akoi's voice cut through. Fuel lines cut, ma'am, their birds grounded, ours fly free. Vance watched the hollows consolidate. 1,000 guns silent, fuel nodes human-held, manifests public coalition lies naked, reef patched in again. Commander, your restraint, it unnerves. They expected Fury planets glassed, not this. War is logistics, Vance said. Law outlasts plasma. Sensors pinged anew, warp blooms reinforcements, Sato traced. No, coalition tenders fleeing inward. They're pulling back, he said. Core world starving. Akoi patched from a captured depot, welders sparked behind her. Rigged broadcasts active, surrender loops in every dialect. Vance leaned forward. Press the dumps, force full denial. Sato compiled the master ledger. Every seized manifest linked, fuel for civilian massacres keyed to admirals now cuffed. Neutral channels erupted. Reef Station broadcast coalition proxies live, stammering denials as data scrolled. One proxy cracked. The manifests, accurate but war demands. Vance cut the feed. Board all remaining, secure the keys. Fleet closed the net. Shuttles darted, cuffs clicked. The battle line, once a storm, drifted like gutted fish. No bombs fell, no colonies burned in reply. Vance's bridge hummed steady. Sato plotted next relays. Akoi coordinated fixes. Reef's voice returned, hushed. You collapsed their machine, legally, how? Timing, Vance said, and patience. Sensors screamed again. Massive shadow warped at the rim, coalition high command carrier, flanked by elites. Sato traced it fast, full auth. No latency exploit. Akoi braced on feed. Shields up, Vance steadied her hands. Hold, they come to talk. The carrier hailed, a new voice, Supreme Commander, crackled through. Human Vance, cease terms, she smiled faintly. Humans held the keys, the war machine choked. But the real negotiation loomed. Fuel nodes pulsed under human control. Manifests burned eternal. Sato whispered, their patterns break, hierarchy cracking. Vance nodded. Good, now we build the trial. Warp drives charged. The carrier edged closer, guns cold, neutrals watched. Justice engines turned. Chief Warrant Officer Rena Akoi slammed the breaching charge against the cruiser's service spine. The alien hull groaned under the mag clamps. Her team hugged the bulkhead as the shaped explosive punched clean through, plasma torching a meter-wide hole without shattering the frame. Spine breached, Akoi barked into her comm. Reactor bay ahead. Sato, confirm lockdown paths. Lieutenant Sato's voice crackled back, calm as ever. Affirmative. Service vents linked direct. Gravity nodes at junctions 3 and 7. Override codes uploaded. Akoi nodded to her squad, 6 Marines in vac suits, rifles slung low. No wild charges. They flowed through the breach like oil, boots magnetized to the deck. Alarms wailed inside the coalition cruiser, red strobes painting jagged shadows. The air reeked of scorched insulation and alien coolant, sharp like burnt citrus. Defenders scrambled at the far end of the spine corridor. Krail exosuits bulky with plasma lances charging, 10 of them forming a kill box. Akoi tapped her wrist console. Rerouting gravity, pin them. She keyed the override. The cruiser's own safety systems hummed to life, emergency protocols meant to save lives in hull failures. Instead, they crushed the enemy. Gravity flipped triple heavy in their sector. Krail warriors slammed to the deck, armor cracking under the pull. Lances fired wild, bolts scorching ceiling conduits. Clear corridors, Akoi ordered. Her team advanced precise, no blind sprays. They zipped restraint cables around limbs, cuffed joints. One Krail thrashed, mandibles clicking fury. Akoi knelt, injected tranq gel through a suit seam. It went limp. Reactor bay sealed, a Marine reported. Bulkheads clamped shut on her command. Another safety lock flipped against the crew. Akoi stood, scanning vitals on her HUD, non-combatants trapped in adjacent bays. Oxygen dropping fast. Restore O2 to civilian sectors, mark med pods. She patched into the ship's life support grid. Vents hissed open, fresh air cycling from reserves. Pods lit green on her map, engineers, medics, no warriors. She tagged them for extraction, priority 1, no shots fired. Chief, Sato cut in. Logs downloading, civilian strike orders embedded, tag the signatories. Akoi jacked her suit into the nearest terminal. Data streamed, manifests, auth codes, admiral-level stamps. Admiral Surith calls Sig Blaze top, fuel diverted to civilian world strikes, keyed to his fleet. Got them, she said. 8 officers, full chain, uploading now. She yanked the drive, sealed it in a shock case. Her squad dragged the last defender into a holding cell, gravity normalized behind them. The reactor thrummed steady, untampered, ship intact. Boarding secure, Akoi reported to Commander Vance. Cruiser's ours, logs en route. Vance's reply came crisp. Excellent. Shuttle inbound, hold for Reef's observers. Akoi wiped sweat from her brow, visor up now. Her Marines secured perimeters, patching minor hull stress. No excess damage. The Krail cruiser floated docile in the human net, its war machine gutted from within. She stepped into the reactor bay. Consoles flickered under emergency lights. A lone Krail tech huddled in a corner, arms raised. Not a fighter, stripes marked maintenance. "Stand," Akoi said in broken Krail via translator. She gestured to a chair. "No harm." It complied, eyes wide at the cuffed warriors outside. "You, use our safeties against us?" Akoi nodded once. "Your systems work, we make them serve." The tech clicked mandibles, shock, not rage. Humans didn't rage, they fixed. Shuttle docked with a solid thunk. Vance's team boarded first, Sato with data pads, Marines with cuffs. Commander Mara Vance strode in last, uniform crisp amid the chaos. Her eyes scanned the bay, calm assessment. "Chief," Vance said. "Report." Akoi handed over the drive. "Reactor locked, ship stable." Civilian sectors breathing. Officers tagged, calls, direct orders on civilian fuel burns. Vance slotted the drive into her pad. Holologs projected. Strike coords matching human colony ash worlds. Signatures glowed, irrefutable. Sato leaned in. Patterns match fleet-wide. This cruiser fueled 3 massacres, keys traced to high command. Vance's jaw tightened fractionally, only till Akoi noticed. "Good work, Reef's envoy incoming, neutrals verify." Footfalls echoed. Envoy Talon Reef entered, flanked by station security. The neutral alien's frills quivered, cautious as always. Its multispectrum eyes darted, pinned warriors breathing pods, intact reactor. "Commander Vance," Reef said, voice modulated neutral. "You take warship. Hull no reactor breach?" Vance gestured to the logs. "Intact." Their safeties pinned defenders. Logs prove civilian orders. Reef scanned the hollow, frills flattened. Calls mark, coalition denies, but data doesn't lie, Sato added. Manifests link fuel to strikes, we hold the chain. A Krail officer cuffed, snarling from a cell viewport, barked through translator. "Terror breaks you, numbers crush." Akoi crossed arms. The officer's exosuit lay crumpled nearby, gravity crushed. Vance ignored it. "We build cases, not graves." Reef broadcast this to proxies. Reef hesitated, then keyed its comm. Feeds went live, neutral channels, coalition watchers, logs scrolled. The pinned officer's denial faltered on open mic. "Safeties, not weapons, logs, accurate but war." Vance cut the feed herself. "Board remaining cruisers, secure keys." Her fleet tightened the net outside. Shuttles swarmed like precision hornets. Cuffs clicked across the battle line. Akoi watched from the bay. Her fixes held. O2 steady, gravity nominal. Marines extracted med pods, Krail civilians blinking at human handlers. No executions. Just procedure, sensors pinged. Massive warp shadow at the rim, coalition high command carrier, elites flanking. Sato traced it on shared TACnet. "Full auth, no exploits." Akoi braced a console. "Shields," Vance steadied her voice. "Hold, they hail." The carrier's signal cracked through. Supreme Commander's timbre boomed, deeper than Call's bluster. "Human Vance, cease operations, terms offered." Vance smiled faint, visible on Akoi's feed. Humans held the keys now. Fuel nodes human-controlled, manifests eternal. Sato whispered on private channel. "Their hierarchy cracks, proxies fracturing." Akoi gripped her tool kit. Patterns broke, justice built. Warp drives hummed faint, human backups charging. The carrier edged closer, guns powered down, neutrals watched from Reef Station. Engines turned, not for war, but trial. Akoi patched a final vent seal. One cruiser down, machine collapsing, but the carrier loomed larger, elites deploying scouts. Vance's comm held the bridge. Sato plotted relays. Reef's voice hushed over open comm. "You turn retaliation." "To law how?" "Timing," Vance replied. "Patience and fixes that last." Akoi shouldered her kit, her shuttle prepped for next board, alarms quieted, the warship once terror floated prize, intact, accountable, sensors screamed anew. Elite frigates peeled off the carrier, lances hot. "Not talk, probe." "Chief," Vance ordered. "Next target locked, punch the spine." Akoi grinned fierce. Squad formed, breachers primed, humans fixed, outlasted, won, the net closed, justice engines roared to life. But deep scans whispered, carrier core venting trace plasma. Sato's voice sharpened. "They're scuttling evidence, logs aboard, supreme level." Vance's eyes hardened. "Akoi, lead the breach." She charged the shuttle ramp, no rage, just the next fix. The real keys waited inside. Lieutenant Kenji Sato hunched over his console as the carrier filled screens. Patterns screamed, auth chains fracturing, proxies silent. Vance paced behind him, hands clasped. Supreme Commanders faint, Sato said. Carriers evacuating data cores, elites cover. Vance nodded. Akoi's team inbound, relay her overrides. Sato fed codes live. Akoi's breacher slammed home on the carrier's spine, mirrored precision. Gravity flipped, defenders pinned. Reef's feed broadcast it all, neutrals gasped multispectrum. Coalition proxies cracked live. Cease, terms. Vance held steady. No terms, justice first. Carrier guns swiveled cold, humans held, the machine choked eternal. Supreme voice returned, edged. Vance, meet or burn fuel nodes, she keyed reply. Dock, cuffs ready. Shuttles darted, clicks echoed galaxy-wide, trial built, victory locked, but Sato's scans deepened, hidden relay from carrier depths. Call alive, rallying remnants. Commander, Sato warned. Ghost signal, hierarchy clings. Vance's jaw tightened. Isolate it. Trace origin. Sato's fingers flew across holographic keys. Relayed through neutral habitat Epsilon, Call's signature faint but him. Reef's channel burst open. The envoy's elongated face filled Vance's bridge feed, scales paling under station lights. Commander Vance. Admiral Call broadcasts from my docks. He demands your surrender or he ignites the habitat's core. Neutrals trapped inside, 10,000 souls, coalition marines as shields. Vance leaned forward. Transmit coordinates, we're en route. No rash strikes, Reef hissed, mandibles clicking. Prove your retaliation stays surgical, no random fire or neutrals fracture the peace accords. Watch, Vance said. We evacuate first. Reef cut the link. His perch on Habitat Epsilon's command deck trembled. Below, civilian pods jammed corridors. Kralith families, Voran traders, all funneling toward evac bays under coalition gunpoint. Admiral Call loomed on the main holoscreen, his frilled crest flared crimson, 4 arms gesturing at pinned crowds. Humans cower, Call boomed, voice amplified through every vent. Surrender your fleets, Vance, or my marines detonate the fusion nodes. These weaklings die first, your fault. Reef's claws dug into his console. Neutrals murmured in panic, eyes darting to coalition enforcers who herded them like livestock. Call's strike group orbited tight, 20 cruisers, drone swarms blotting stars. Bait, pure terror calculus to draw human rage. Reef keyed a private line to Vance. They're wiring the core now. Proof, send it, or I authorize station defenses. Call's eyes locked on Reef. Silence, envoy, your neutrality ends when humans burn. A human drone swarm pierced the outer pickets, silent, unlit, threading gaps like smoke. Reef scanners pinged, micro-thrusters, stealth fields, no weapons hot. Vance's bridge hummed. Lieutenant Sato cross-checked feeds. Habitat layout confirmed. Core nodes here, civilian densities maxed at bays 3 through 7. Evac math, 92% extractable in 12 minutes. Launch, Vance ordered. Drones detached from her lead cruiser, the UNS Endurance. Each carried evac pods automated, soft-docked. Akoi patched in from her engineering bay. Pods green, grapples reinforced. They'll peel civilians clean. Sato spoofed the next wave. Coalition targeting arrays flickered, ghost pings rerouted to empty void. Their fire control thinks drones are debris. Calls blind 30 seconds. Reef's deck erupted in shouts. Human pods clamped to outer hulls, hatches blooming open. Arms extended, soft vacuums, zero-G tethers. Neutrals poured in, coalition marines shoving back too late. Intruders, Call roared. His cruisers pivoted, guns charging, Reef broadcast wide. Stand down, Admiral. Evac in progress, your shields fail. Call's frill pulsed rage. Fire, scorch them. But his strike group halted. Vance's trap snapped shut. Endurance's flanks unfolded, mine layers seeding a no-fire perimeter. Invisible fields locked weapons. Any discharge triggered cascade detonations in their own fuel lines. Admiral, Vance transmitted, voice ice calm. Your group entered declared neutral space. Fire and you self-destruct. Stand down or expose your war crimes live. Call's bridge feed showed chaos, officers scrambling, marines on the habitat yelling overrides. Human drones ferried the last pods free. 98% yield. Sato's prediction held. Reef watched Call's face twist. Vance witchery, proxies flanked them. Coalition drones lunged, then veered wild, spoofed into each other. Explosions lit the void, harmless blooms. Akoi's voice crackled. Fuel nodes isolated on 3 cruisers. Remote shunt done. Call slammed a fist. Borders on my flag, humans inside, Vance nodded to Sato. Feed Akoi's team the vents. Habitat bays cleared. Reef sealed his deck, eyes on the hollows. Human shuttles ghosted through calls, faltering screen, precision strikes on command decks. No civilian spill. You're calculating this, Reef muttered. Neutrals cheered faint across channels. Coalition Marines dropped weapons, hands raised. Call's signal stuttered. Sato's console beeped. Ghost signal origin pinned. Call's personal shuttle docked mid-habitat. He's rallying elites. Vance keyed fleet-wide. Akoi breach his shuttle, cuffs priority. Affirm, Akoi growled. Her squad jetted through micro-breaches, exosuits humming, vents pried open. Coalition guards spun, tasers dropped them cold. No shots. Call's shuttle hatch buckled under breacher charge. Akoi led the rush, rifle low. Secure the Admiral, he lunged, plasma blade igniting. Akoi sidestepped, baton cracking his wrist. Blade clattered, Marines piled in, cuffs clicked. Reef's feed captured it, Call dragged out, crest limp. This, procedure, no vengeance. Vance appeared on open comms. Justice logs every move, your threats recorded, trial at Geneva Station. Neutrals across the habitat exhaled. Reef forwarded the full evac data to Accord's council. Humans hadn't fired once, just math, traps, restraint, but Sato's scans spiked anew. Commander relay from Call's shuttle. Supreme Council override. They're mobilizing reserves at Nexus Prime. Vance's eyes narrowed. Plot intercept. Akoi rig the habitat stabilizers. Reef, your docks are ours for resupply. Reef hesitated, then nodded. Docks granted. But prove it again, no escalation. Call's elites surrendered in waves. Strike group powered down, tractors pulling them to impound. Vance watched the hollows clear. Evac pods docked clean on endurance, 99%. Akoi slapped a Marine's shoulder, disarmed, compliant. Fixed next. Sato traced the new relay. Patterns formed, coalition hierarchy fracturing, proxies peeling off. They're suing for terms but hiding assets, Vance paced. No terms yet, accountability first. Reef joined the bridge feed, scales steadying. Your drones saved my people. Call's logs, they'll damn the coalition. Transmit them, Vance said. Sato, verify chains. Habitat stabilized under Akoi's overrides. Neutrals rebuilt bays. Call's flag cruiser towed inert, core data slurped dry. But the ghost deepened. Sato isolated a subcarrier ping, coalition black ops vectoring to human colonies. They escalate, civilian targets prepped. Vance halted. Deploy scouts, calculate intercepts. Reef leaned in. You're not raging, just planning. Anger blinds, Vance replied. We outlast. Akoi's shuttle ramped down on the habitat rim. Squad offloaded gear, stabilizers locked. A neutral Voran approached, tentacles waving thanks. Akoi nodded curt. Fixed, stay fixed. Back aboard, her console lit. Vance's order, prep for Nexus push. Reserves inbound, she muttered, tools spun up. Sato fed predictions, enemy patterns cracked wide. Their war machine chokes on our logs, Vance addressed the fleet. Coalition baits with terror, we answer with evacuation, traps, trials, advance. Engines thrummed. Habitat receded safe. Call's glare burned from brig feed, cuffed silent. Reef watched them jump. Neutrals buzzed, humans turned shields to salvage, but whispers spread, Supreme Council's final play loomed. Ghost fleets massing. Sato's voice cut through. Commander, Nexus scans show carrier clusters. Call's remnants rallying under new flag. Vance smiled thin. Good, we trap the head next. Jump complete, stars wheeled to Nexus glare. Coalition hulls swarmed, hundreds strong. Bait accepted. Akoi's breachers primed anew. Justice engines revved. The real collapse began. Vance's console flared with targeting locks. Sato, confirm intercepts. Akoi, breach teams green. Affirmative, Commander, Sato replied from Intel Bay. His screens parsed coalition carrier clusters, Nexus hub pulsing like a bloated heart. Breachers hot, Akoi cut an overtack net. Her voice echoed from the assault shuttle, tools whirring. Locks sealed, we punch on your mark. Coalition swarms wheeled toward them, hundreds of hulls, fangs bared in formation. Vance ignored the thunder of incoming fire. Shields buckled once, twice. Her fleet held pyramid tight. Neutrals first. Vance keyed the wideband hololink. Envoy Talon Reef's image snapped into view aboard the station, flanked by Voran delegates and a cluster of wary Scorv observers. Envoy's observation deck, transmit your feeds live. We serve warrants today. Reef's frills twitched, neutral liaison, tentacled and precise. Commander, your fleet jumps into this maelstrom. 4. Evidence. Chain of command captured logs from their cruiser. Watch. Vance patched the feeds. Holograms bloomed across the bridge. Admiral Call's voice snarling orders from the brig relay they'd intercepted mid-jump. Strike the colonies, break their civilians, terror folds them. Subordinates nodded in grainy vid, named officers, faces time-stamped. Coalition Supreme Council signatures scrolled underneath, authorizing Black Ops pings to habitat worlds. Reef's eyes widened. Avoran gasped, tentacles coiling. This escalates legally. Logs don't lie. Vance's voice stayed level. Their aggression voids the pacts. We target command corps, courts-martial nodes, propaganda relays, no civilians, no excess. Witnesses confirm. Score of delegates muttered, feeds relaying to neutral nets galaxy-wide. Coalition fire intensified, plasma lanced past her viewport. Alarms wailed. Confirmed, Reef broadcast. Neutrals observe. Human operations proceed under interstellar law. Vance nodded once. Fleet execute Phase 1. Synchronize strikes. Go. Torpedoes leaped from her cruisers, precision lances, not barrages. Sato's predictions guided them. Enemy patterns cracked, vectors predicted from Black Ops pings. First volley gutted 3 command cores, central nexuses routing Call's remnants. Hulls vented code streams, hierarchies fracturing. Coalition carriers pivoted, numbers their edge. They swarmed in waves, boarding drones spitting toward human flanks. Vance's destroyers danced back, evac corvettes slipping through to scoop colony stragglers from the rim. Node 2 down, Sato reported. Their courts-martial relays offline, no more sham trials for their atrocities. Akoi's shuttle streaked ahead. Propaganda array in sights. Breaching now. Explosives bloomed silent in the void. Her team flooded the relay ship, yanking data cores before it died. Lies choked mid-broadcast. No more coalition terror vids painting humans as weak. Call's new flagship loomed at Nexus Core, a behemoth bristling with guns, rallying the swarm under fresh sigils. His escape from the brig feed, sloppy handover, Sato's trace confirmed, Vance's lips thinned. Flagship priority, boarding teams converge. Shields parted under focused fire. Akoi's breachers led, magnetic clamps thudded home. Her squad poured through rents, rifles disciplined, non-lethals first. Vance tracked from bridge cams, heart steady. Coalition Marines charged in corridors, bigger, armored claws slashing. Akoi's voice crackled. Engineers hold the line, stabilizers down, their power grids mine. Gunfire barked. A Marine lunged, Akoi sidestepped, jammed a disruptor into its joint. It crumpled. Her team pushed, methodical, no frenzy. Bridge assault hit next. Sato's hack sliced doors. Human Marines flooded in, magcuffs ready. Call rose from his throne, mandibles flaring. Primitives, you dare? Admiral Surith Call. Vance's image projected large. You're under arrest, war crimes, civilian strikes per logs, hands or claws up. His officers froze, plasma rifles half raised. Marines swarmed, cuffing named faces from the evidence vids. Call snarled, lunging. A tranq dart dropped him cold. Bridge secure, Akoi reported, sweat beading on her brow amid sparking consoles. Officers detained. No executions. Vance exhaled. Extract, transmit to neutrals. Reef's feed buzzed live. Observation confirmed, captures lawful, no summary justice. Coalition swarms faltered, command corps dark, propaganda silenced, head snared, carriers peeled off, vectors scattering. Vance's fleet tightened the noose, not crushing it. Phase 2, she ordered. Conditional armistice, broadcast wide. Her comms officer patched the message. Hollow burst to every hull, every neutral station. Coalition forces stand down, warrants served on command chain. Admiral Call and indicted officers detained for tribunals. Terms, full restitution to struck colonies. Demilitarized corridors enforced by neutral patrols. Supreme Council surrenders assets for prosecution. Comply or we dismantle node by node. Humanity offers justice, not vengeance. Silence gripped the bridge. Sato leaned back. Their patterns shift, retreat vectors forming. Reef's voice cut in private. Commander, you turned invasion into indictment. Neutrals stand with this. Akoi's shuttle docked, her team hauling cuffed aliens. She saluted Vance through the airlock. Fix their fight. Yours next. Vance watched Call's flagship towed inert Marines marching prisoners. Coalition ghosts massed at the rim, final play. No, her scouts already vectored. But Sato's console pinged anew. Supreme Council override detected. Ghost fleets inbound heavy. Vance's eyes narrowed. Log it, prep tribunals, they come to us now. Engines hummed. Nexus glare dimmed under human lights. Warrants scaled up. The machine ground on. Envoy Talon Reef's claw extended across the hollow table. I sign for the neutrals. Armistice framework holds. Commander Mara Vance nodded once. Her finger tapped the confirm glyph. The document sealed with a digital chime, broadcasting to every relay in the Nexus sector. Captured coalition commanders, Admiral Call chief among them, shifted in their neutral custody pods nearby. Call's mandibles clicked in futile protest, but Magcuff silenced him. Vance turned to her comms officer. Patch Reef to all frequencies. Custody transfer complete. Neutrals assume oversight. Reef's scaled face filled the main viewer. Humans dictate terms like merchants closing a deal. Call and his indicted go to Themis Station for tribunals. No escapes. Accountability first, Vance said. War machine dismantled node by node if needed. Sensors pinged. Sato's console lit up from the intel nook. Ghost fleets halt at the marker buoy, vectors reversing. Supreme Council blinked. Vance allowed a thin smile. Her bridge crew exhaled as one. Marines hauled the last prisoner pod through the airlock. Akoy's team sealed it with a hydraulic hiss. Chief Warrant Officer Rena Akoy wiped grease from her hands and saluted. Their flagship's engines are cold, ma'am, towed and locked. Want me on the depots next. Convert them, Vance ordered. Relief hubs for struck colonies. Publish schematics open source. All sides get the fixes, Akoy grinned. Already en route. Coalition junk becomes human aid. They'll choke on it. Reef's voice cut back in. You rebuild while we watch. Neutrals approve. Vance cut the channel. Helm, plot escort vectors. Trade lanes reopen at 600. Sato, flag any deviation. Lieutenant Kenji Sato's eyes stayed glued to his overlays. Patterns danced in his mind. Coalition retreat flows, supply choke points. Sanctions prepped. Violations trigger auto-embargo. No shots fired. The bridge thrummed with purpose. Vance watched her fleet fan out. Carriers formed protective wedges around freighters. Human hulls gleamed against the void, lasers powered down but railguns hot. Hours later, the first restitution shipment lumbered in. Coalition bulkers, fat with ore and alloys stripped from their own depots, matched velocity under human escort. Vance's shuttle docked with the lead vessel. The alien captain, a hulking Vor with quivering frills, bowed low. Payments as ordered, Commander, full manifest. Vance scanned the cargo seals. Verified, proceed to colony drop points. Escorts stay until unload. The Vor hesitated. Our fleet's mass at the rim. Supreme Council demands nothing. Vance's voice stayed level. Tribunals proceed. Pay first or we seize more. He backed away. Shuttles ferried crates to waiting habitats. Vance's TACpad buzzed Sato's update. 2 ghost squadrons probe the lane. Sanctions live. Their fuel depots go dark in 48 hours. From the command deck, Vance saw it unfold. Freighters surged through demilitarized corridors. Neutral patrols, Reef slim cutters flanked them, scanners neutral. Coalition ships hung back, prows dark. Akoy's voice crackled over comms. Depot 1 converted, relief hub online. Publishing schematics now, hull patches, life support overrides. Coalition techs can use them too if they behave. Vance keyed her mic. Good work, status on the rest. 3 more by dawn, feeding data to colonies. Their civilians eat first. A holofeed popped up. Akoy's engineers swarmed a gutted coalition station. Sparks flew as they welded human standard ports to alien frames. Wounded from struck worlds shuffled aboard, medbays humming. One tech, a young human, held up a tablet. Schematics out, replies flooding in. Neutrals downloading heavy. Vance nodded to herself. Logistics won wars, Rage lost them, Sato pinged private. Violation cluster at Epsilon node, 3 frigates testing patrols. Trigger it, Vance said, his fingers danced. Invisible chains snapped tight. Coalition accounts froze across 17 sectors. Fuel convoys halted mid-burn. Propaganda nodes went silent under cyberlocks. Sato leaned into his pickup. Embargo bites, patterns show cascade, logistics collapse in 72 hours. Vance's fleet tightened formation. Trade lanes bloomed with green icons. Freighters poured through, holds brimming. Restitution shipments stacked in orbit, audited down to the gram. Reef hailed again, this time from Themis Station. Call Rages in custody, demands your head, neutrals hold firm. Let him, Vance replied. Tribunals serve evidence, not tantrums. You force policy from victory, Reef said. Coalition fractures, Supreme Council signals parley. Vance glanced at her status board. Akoi's hubs now lit 5 sectors. Sato's sanctions rippled outward, starving ghost fleets without a single missile. Prep the channel, she told her officer. The parley feed opened. A coalition Supreme Councilor, tentacled robes frayed, filled the view. Human, see sanctions, we comply fully. Vance folded her hands. Sign the full armistice, transfer indicted assets, neutrals witness. Reef's face joined the feed. Framework expands, custody permanent. The counselor tentacles writhed. Your receipts, they bind us. Justice does, Vance said. Signatures flowed. Hollow seals locked. Vance watched the board shift. Ghost fleets peeled off, engines cold. Trade lanes swelled, human freighters, neutral traders, even coalition haulers under escort. Akoi's report beamed in. All seized depots live as hubs. Schematics viral, coalition ships patching with our fixes. They're using human work to limp home. Sato chimed. No violations in 24 hours. Patterns lock, full compliance. Vance stood from her chair. Bridge crew snapped to attention. Marines paraded the last prisoner files to neutral shuttles. Reef's cutters took custody, vanishing into jump. The viewer showed it, coalition armadas dissolving. Carriers turned tail, supply lines choked by their own debt. Vance spoke to her fleet-wide. Phase 3. Rebuild begins, keep the lanes open, keep the receipts. Engines flared, Nexus stations brightened under relief floods. Vance's shuttle undocked, vectoring to the first hub. Sato's ping followed. One anomaly, Supreme Council frigate off-script vector. Her eyes narrowed. Log it track, but the board stayed green. Coalition ships broadcasted surrender codes, human schematics patching their hulls, restitution crates unloading under watchful eyes. Reef's final hail buzzed. War ends, Commander, you rebuilt the galaxy, and invoiced it. Vance watched the stars fill with traffic, humans fixed. Aliens paid, justice ground on, a new ping, Sato. Frigate surrendering, captain requests tribunal mercy, cites your receipts as proof. She smiled fully now. The machine turned, they kept every receipt.